engagement beyond voting. Between elections, how many people get involved with the decision-making processes that affect their lives, their families, and their communities? The answer is almost none. It's hard to blame them. Politics has become a demoralizing farce. Most decisions are made behind closed doors by political insiders, while our legislatures have been reduced to arenas of toxic adversarialism, a childish circus and an embarrassment to our species. But the more we tune out, the more power the insiders have. And the more power they have, the more reason we have to tune out. You can see how quickly this snowball of apathy can grow. So we find ourselves in a crisis of cynicism flowing in three directions. First, we have our growing collective cynicism towards politicians. Second, there's a reverse flow. Political elites are cynical about us. Unless they're asking for our votes or donations, political leaders seem uninterested in our capacity to participate. But the third direction of cynicism is the most dangerous. We've lost faith in each other. Stereotypes abound of a mindless, consumer-driven, self-absorbed society filled with people who are completely uninterested in politics, their community, or the pursuit of the common good. Think of how we've normalized the use of the word populist to describe political messages that are self-serving, ignorant, or hateful. The actual word just means support for the concerns of ordinary people. So the way we're currently using the word endorses the belief that ordinary people are crude by nature and that the elite, educated political class needs to operate independently from the desires of the population to protect citizens from themselves. Ironically, this is exactly the kind of condescension that has propelled so-called populist leaders into power in the first place. I believe in people. I look around at my friends, my family, colleagues, neighbors, and I see individuals who are inspiring, caring, and open-minded. And sometimes I'll start up a political conversation with a stranger just to make sure I'm not deluding myself from within a social bubble. I tend to do this in the two places that are most conducive to long discussions with complete strangers: taxicabs and barbershops. I'll broach a political topic, and the first response is almost always dismissive or self-deprecating. "Oh, I don't know much about that," or "I don't really care," accompanied by a shrug. It's as if they're trying to live up to our own cynical cliches of human nature. But if I gently push a little further, like heating up frozen soup, their opinions and ideas begin to thaw and the individual flows outwards. Even if I disagree with their views, I find myself appreciating their thoughtfulness and the complexity of their positions. So as a mass culture, we seem to be unplugged, uninterested, and self-absorbed. But as individuals, we're curious, passionate, and contemplative. How can we resolve the contrast between these two portraits of who we are? Each person's lived experience provides a unique point of view that has value. As Jason Dara, Edmonton's director of public communications, once told me, quote, "People have local knowledge. The drainage experts can't beat a citizen who says, 'Every time it rains, it pools right there,'" end quote. Whether that knowledge is about pooling water or something more profound, such as knowing what it's like to live on minimum wage, to be racially profiled, or struggle with addiction, these perspectives represent an ocean of wisdom and experience. In addition, we each have distinct approaches to problem solving, unique communication skills, and particular ways of exploring our creativity. But in a culture of disengagement, these voices and skills lie dormant behind a wall of apathy. How do we tear down this wall? The first step is to recognize that human behavior depends on environment. We can feel restrained or free based on where we are and what's happening around us. Think of something as simple as singing. Children laugh and sing without restraint, but as we grow older, we learn to become more reserved. Most adults don't sing. But there are 5 interesting exceptions: national anthems, happy birthday, karaoke, prayer, and the shower. In other words, adults tend to be embarrassed about singing unless they have the comfort of privacy, the familiarity of ritual, and/or the excuse of alcohol. When they have those permissions, they'll sing loudly and happily. So rather than assuming that people don't want to participate in politics, I think it's more accurate and respectful to recognize that politics can feel intimidating and that people just need an environment where it feels worthwhile, safe, comfortable, and normal to speak out, to share ideas.